Hey everyone, thank you so much for being here with us for a City of Abilene podcast as we dive into all sorts of fun things as you join in each episode. And we're going to get down into talking about Abilene Police Department because they've got a major recruitment push going on as they're building out what will be their next cadet class for Abilene Police Department and the future of APD. So joining me today, I have Cati Wolfe and Kevin Ohnheiser, who are both police officers here with APD, but also specialize and put a lot of time and attention into the recruitment efforts that go on for APD all year round, I would say, right? But especially now as you hit this recruitment season. So welcome. Thanks for being with us.
You're listening to the City of Abilene's podcast, Building Community Together.
Thanks for having us.
Awesome. Hello. Okay, so let's start off. First question I want to ask both of you. If you can tell me, what was your favorite day or experience as a police officer so far in your careers?
Well, I've got, I don't know that I have a favorite day. I would say that every day is exciting. Every day is not the same. I think my most enjoyable moments are just being out in the community and having someone in the community just come up and thank me for doing what I do. And that, I think every officer would say that's probably one of the most enjoyable times is just people recognizing what we do.
Yeah. How about for you, Cati?
So I would say mine is more like along the lines of a favorite case I got to be involved in. I was a detective for part of my career, and I worked a specific case that we all thought was going to end in tragedy. It was a child crime case. We thought we were going to lose this infant, and we didn't. I say we. Obviously, there was a lot that went into that as far as doctors and stuff. She survived, and we, as the detectives, got to go see her be adopted by a new family, her and her sibling, and she now thrives as a normal adolescent. So I think that that's probably one of my favorite, more of a success story. And it's fun to get to be a part of that. It's pretty rewarding.
Yeah. Well, and I wanted to ask you guys that, and I think we'll get to dig in a little bit more as we talk here, that I feel like I've learned I was able to do the Abilene the Citizens Police Academy, not to be confused with the actual police academy. And I was amazed, you know, at the time you spent about, I think we had about 8 sessions to learn about the different aspects of what APD does. And I was just amazed to realize how many more different like sort of facets and realities there are to police work. And so you kind of have that idea of sort of chasing bad guys, which obviously can be a very big part of the job. But I was amazed at how much, I want to call it social work, if that makes sense. Like, and even for someone who's on patrol, for example, the real relationships you're building with the people out there. And it's not just like, oh, you did this thing wrong. You know, there's so much relationship building and helping the community and like that connection. And so we'll talk more about that as we get into things too, about other areas. And maybe if you are listening here today and you have a spouse, or maybe you have a child or a grandchild, start thinking about them, and they may have some of those talents and skills and interests that actually might fit well with some facet of police work, right? What do you think is maybe what do you think folks would find most surprising or unexpected about being a police officer?
You know, I'm gonna steal a line from an individual that came and spoke to our department here recently. He said, "What other career is there that you can change the course of history for people?" And like Cati was talking about, the detectives and the officers involved in that case changed the course of history for that child. And you know, several years ago, I was at a restaurant and I wasn't working. I was just eating a meal, and a waitress came up to me and she said, "I don't know if you remember me." And as soon as she said that, I thought, oh, great. I'm dealing with this person, right? But she said, "You arrested me a couple of years ago, and I just want to say thank you." And I thought that was crazy. But she said, "You know, you arrested me, and that had allowed me to go to jail. And while I was in jail, I was allowed to sober up, and I was allowed to get away from the drugs that I was involved in." and I was allowed to get away from the people I was hanging around. And it made me realize that I was headed down the wrong path. And she said, thank you for arresting me, because you changed my life. And so I don't think people really realize the impact that law enforcement can have on people's lives in changing the course of history for people. And I think sometimes we forget that we do that as well. And so I really appreciated his words, because I think that's why a lot of people get into the profession. And sometimes we lose track of that.
Yeah, you hear, and in media, unfortunately, the negative headlines is what you see come out, but there's so many more positive that go behind changing someone's life, right? That can happen. Okay, talk a little bit too about who should maybe be thinking about a path in career in police work and career in this area. I'll let you guys answer. I was going to say one thing that really surprised me too, going through the Citizens Police Academy, was traffic officers, for example. The folks you see come out after an accident, and I hadn't realized how much of the actual physics, mathy work. I was thinking, wow, there's a whole group of physics sort of. I don't want to call them math geeks. Don't get me. We love them all, right? You should wear that badge of honor, for real proud for sure. But seeing what they did, and that they actually did so much of that investigation behind the cause and speed and torque and all those sort of things. Like, wow, I never would have thought about that really being part of PD's job with that. So tell us both here. Tell me both about who do you think should be thinking about a career with PD at the APD?
Katie?
I would say everyone, just because I think that almost everyone has some sort of talent or gift that you can apply to police work. So like you said, the traffic guys, they're good at math. A lot of them do math that I don't even, when I have to think about it, gives me a headache. But then you have the officers, that work crimes against children, and they maybe have a heart for something different. Or you have the cyber guys that are computer guys. So like when I say everyone, I really mean it. Like literally everyone has some talent that we could bring to police work in some way. But I did go to a training not too long ago, and the gentleman that was speaking, he described it pretty well, which in general, he said that we really like to get people with a servant's heart, but a warrior's mindset. So you have to have that servant's heart and want to do things for other people and be willing to do everything for other people. But on the back end of it, you have to have the warrior's mindset, because we do get put in situations that, even we don't really want to be in them, but, we attack it. So
would you say that a little bit of the warrior, does the training help develop maybe a little bit of that and the tougher skin?
100%.
Yeah.
If you knew me as a rookie, you would say 100%.
She's a tough lady now.
It's absolutely. So that's what the Academy's for.
Okay.
We began to instill that to the cadets in the Academy. And so to piggyback off of what Katie said, I think integrity is very important. And then I was also going to say a servant's heart. We do this because we want to give back. There's a lot of exciting and fun things along the way that make the job even more enjoyable. But the most rewarding is when you're able to provide a service for someone that they wouldn't have gotten if you weren't there.
Yeah. Tell us now a little bit about the recruitment process, as that's what's going on right now. What should folks expect from the minute of like, all right, let me check this out. Let me go click on apply here. What happens with all of this for you guys?
Well, yeah. So you go to AbilenePolice.org and click on apply here. And that is going to take you to an application process. It probably won't take you 10, 15 minutes to do. You're going to put in some information, and then you're going to answer about 10 to 12 questions. And that's it to start. And that gets you the ball rolling. And what that basically does is that gets you the ability to attend the civil service test and physical fitness test that we're going to have on May 4th.
Okay, so do you study for the pen and paper test, or should you come in cold and just see where you land?
You can look up civil service test online and take some practice civil service test. And yeah, I would highly recommend just getting an idea what it's going to look like for you. So I would say it's not any type of college test. It's just basic, reading, writing, little small math and test, and just to make sure you can do the basics.
And then if anyone has any concerns about their past, will you all be kind of screening for that kind of thing after they submit that first application, or where does that kind of happen so you know where you might need to address some questions?
Yeah, so there's questions on the application that we'll call it disqualifiers.
Okay.
So you submit it, and I'll get that application. And then I will look at those questions to make sure there's no disqualifiers. If there's no disqualifiers, then you'll move on, and you'll hear from Katie about the next process and about some opportunities that are available to you before we get to May 4th, like taking a tour of the police station, coming out to the academy and practicing the physical fitness test so you're prepared, so you know what's coming, and some other opportunities that Katie will reach out to them about.
Yeah. Okay. And that was a little bit my next question, because you did talk about the physical test as well. So what is that good prep work? What's a good way to gauge whether or not you're ready for that physical test? I feel like I've seen shows where you're like, do they not try and run a mile prior to coming out, or what happened there? That kind of thing.
So Katie, I'll let you give your perspective.
So I think one key actually, and what I've been trying to encourage people on my recruiting list to do, is apply early, because we are allowing our applicants to go out to the academy and practice. So
Nice.
Our physical assessment is a row on the row machines, and not everyone has been on one.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a technique to it that really can help you significantly on whether or not you pass. I mean, we saw a girl last year improve by like 1.5 minutes in like 3 days, just because she learned the technique. So if you apply early and go out there and practice, our staff is Sergeant Ohnheiser and the other staff, they're out there, they can help them, show them some of those tricks to help them pass the rower. So I think applying early and going and taking an advantage of that opportunity.
Yeah.
We haven't offered that in the past. This is the first year.
Oh, that's very nice.
So,
because it's a shame to lose someone who is fit, and it's just a little tweaking that would have solved everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And tell me too, since I have you talking here, Katie, in particular, what is it like to be a female police officer in general, going through the process, recruitment, the tests, and those sort of things?
So I enjoy it, but I've always kind of been one of the guys all through high school. I hung out more with guys than girls. So we are a minority in our profession, but they're like our brothers. So it's entertaining. It's fun. They really do treat me like their sister. Sometimes it's annoying, but as I've talked to so many females here lately that they're just curious if they could even do it. They're like, but can I do that? I'm small. I'm not, and something I try to encourage them to remember is we offer some things that the guys just aren't as good at as we are. There are things that female officers tend to be better at than the males. And so that's always something to keep in mind. We're not as big. A lot of us aren't as fast or strong, but we're way better at talking to people. It just comes a little more natural to us, empathy and stuff like that. And they forget that we have a lot of strengths that help a lot in the real police world.
Absolutely. That makes sense. As you go out there on the streets and you meet all kinds of people, people are going to respond to all kinds of people in different ways. And I mean, sometimes you need someone to get into a little area. It's like, hey, to get in there. No, but it's great. It's great to hear that, and for folks to know, even maybe, like you're saying, whether maybe it's not a male or female thing, but just a matter of I've been better at this and not so good at that. You just don't know what strengths might come out with that kind of thing. So let's get in a little bit more just to kind of answer some questions about where to apply. And we kind of got through the assessment. What does the further picture look like? Say you pass the test, you pass the physical test. What is it like to be a cadet in that process?
So it's, and I'm glad you asked that question because I don't think a lot of people understand. We're going to pay you to go to training. You're basically going to come to school for about 6 months. We're going to put you through academic training. We're going to put you through realistic training and practical training and teach you everything you need to know to do the job. So a life of a cadet is school. You're going to be in school. You got a lot of academics to learn. There's an academic side. There's a physical side, right? We want you to be in shape. We want you to be able to run. We want you to be able to do the things that is going to be required of you on the street. So there's the academic and physical side that are the biggest. And each one of those, for me, physically, it wasn't difficult for me when I went through the academy almost 20 years ago. The academics was where I struggled. Just wasn't good academically. But then we have those that are great academically and struggle physically. So you don't have to be great at both. We're going to teach you and we're going to give you the tools you need to succeed in this career. If that's what you want to do, as long as you put your mind to it, then you can succeed.
Yeah. And I think to remember too that you, as much as the police department, but the city of Abilene, we're investing, your community is investing in you. We see something in you and that you all want all the cadets to succeed,
Absolutely.
that you're there to help them get there as best possible.
Yep, for sure.
It's exciting. Do you have is there a particular activity or day that ends up being really fun or rewarding or just sort of the standout day when you go through academy? And that's it. I just popped that one on. I didn't prepare you for that question.
I can say, I bet if I polled the cadets, a lot of them would say police driving.
Okay.
It's because we get to put them in cars and they get to chase cars and drive fast and teach them how to pit cars. And so that's probably one of the more fun times for them when they get to get out and I guess let it rip on the road for a little bit.
It's like a movie life a little bit, but for reals.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun to do that. So I think that's probably the practical side of all of it is really fun for all of them because they start to get to apply what they're learning. But I think probably the most exciting, I bet they would all say the driving.
Okay, cool. All right, my final question. Just as you both sit here, well, actually, before we get to the final question, let me just go ahead and put a reminder, AbilenePolice.org. That's where you go. We got a little graphic here, just a little reminder, AbilenePolice.org. And you know what? I don't think we talked about what really is the time frame for folks to get those applications in.
Yeah, applications are open till April 21st.
Okay. Gotcha. And then is there a date set yet for when some of those tests would be happening? Is that something that you need to be there? There's no retakes if you can't make it?
There's one day, and that's May.
Okay.
That'll be May 4th at 10 a.m. at the convention center.
Okay, May 4th. And then is it the same with the physical test? Just one opportunity?
Yeah. So, there's one opportunity for the written test. You'll take your physical test that day as well. If you don't pass that day, your physical test, you will be given one more opportunity to pass it at a later date.
May the 4th be with you. For real, sir. Okay, it's fine. My last question here, just as you both sit here and you think about, the future class that you're forming here, but also the future of policing. So many kids you hear say, I want to be a police officer when I grow up, and you're a part of that legacy, as is everyone in APD, but especially as you all work to head up the recruitment efforts. What do you hope Abilene Police Department looks like for those kids and these cadets that you don't know yet?
Katie?
Fully staffed. I actually would almost, besides the fact that now we have technology and more technology in our building is phenomenal. I almost hope it looks like it did 5-10 years ago. Our officers are all extremely close. We really are like a family. We hang out together outside of work. And I just hope it continues to be that way. Because I think it's a huge perk and one of the best things about our career and our lifestyle as police officers.
Yeah, I would second that. The continued just inside the wall support that we have as a work family, and then also I hope moving in the future we continue just to have a great relationship with the community, and we continue to have that community support. Because I talk to officers from other departments all over the country, and they don't have what we have here. And that's my selling point to anybody. If you want to be in police, come here, because the community absolutely supports you 100%. And if you don't have community support, it makes this job really, really difficult. And so we're very blessed here. And so I believe to have success, we got to continue to have that community support. And that's on us to continue to do the right things and not violate that trust.
Yeah. And y'all do get a lot of those lateral police officers, correct, that come here from other communities because they see that. So, and anyone knows it. It's really nice to enjoy walking into work and to feel togetherness and that in it together with your work family. So I can only imagine for the kind of work you guys do that you have a whole new level of understanding that. So awesome. Okay, so here we go. You got a few more weeks left to get your applications in. And of course, where can folks reach out to you guys if they do just have more questions and maybe want to say, all right, let me have a conversation with these folks and see what happens?
So my phone number is actually on that ad right there, the 676-6611.
Okay.
Goes straight to me. So I answer phone calls and emails all day. I'm more than happy to answer any question anybody has. So they can call that number or they can email me. When you go to the AbilenePolice.org, my picture, email information is all on there. So they can just click it and shoot me an email or call me, whichever one.
Awesome. All right. Fantastic. May the 4th and the Force be with everyone then. We'll really mark our calendars for that day. Thank you guys so much for your time. And I'm really excited to hear and see about this new class.
Awesome. Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much to Officer Wolfe and Sergeant Ohnheiser for their time. Please do check out AbilenePolice.org if you're even just mildly interested in thinking, maybe I could be a part of Abilene Police Department. They love to hear from you, have a conversation, and just see where it takes you. And you never know, you might be in the blue with us here in a few months to come. And don't forget, our podcasts drop on Sundays. We get to see new full episodes, and we'll be talking about anything and everything that has to do with City of Abilene and really picking out topics that we think might come out of the mold a little bit about what you want to hear about and know about with your city government. So please do join us. You can find us on Spotify, on your Apple Podcasts, and then we like to tease you a little bit and put out some little tidbits and previews on our social media as well. But look for us in all those places and join us. And it's been great talking and listening with you.